Anyway, we'll see what happens with that. All right, so moving along, we're going to bring on our good friend, our state assemblyman, Mr. Mike Miller. Mike, how are you? Hello, Mike? All right, we'll come back to Mike in a couple minutes. We were actually expecting Elizabeth Crowley to call in. So I think,
Can you hear me now?
Oh, there we go. Sorry, Mike. How are you, sir?
All right, how you doing?
Very good. How you been?
Good, very good. We've been upstate. We have a couple long weeks now until the budget is done. We anticipate finalizing it by the 21st of March. This would be the third year of an on-time budget, something that hasn't been done in over 35 years. And I think we're all on board to make sure that happens. It's important. It's a good way of getting things done ahead of time. Why wait till the last minute? I think both sides of the Senate and the Assembly realize, the importance of, getting your job done, getting it on time. And I think they also want to make sure they make their holidays the last week in March and the first week in April.
Sure.
So I think that comes very important to them as well. This week we had a couple interesting, bills that came up. Minimum wage was one of them. It was an important bill. We have a lot of people, especially in Woodhaven, especially in the majority of my assembly district. A lot of people work for minimum wage, and in a lot of cases they're working two jobs that pay minimum wage just to try and make ends meet. And so we passed the bill. Hopefully the Senate picks it up and runs with it. It's a good way for again our residents, the people that work hard and aren't extremely skilled or whatever the case is, make minimum wage. But it'll bring them a good $50 more, that they're going to spend locally. If they bring home, $50 more a week, it's going to go to Seatown, it's going to go to Scoturo, It's going to go to, the 99-cent stores and even Carvel. Everybody will get a piece of the action because it just gives them the ability to take care of their families in a better way. And studies have shown that, they're going to spend it locally. It's not like they're going to take it and bank it because they can't afford to do that. They have to live on it. So that also helps, our small businesses. More money coming into the small businesses will, maybe they'll be able to hire somebody else, and it's a good way of clawing out of the hole that we're in and trying to get some recovery. And the other day, hydrofracking, the Assembly passed a 2-year moratorium on hydrofracking, and that's a very important bill because, that could directly affect our water. Our water supply, and so we want to make sure that our reservoir system is protected, and that there's no drilling in the Marcellus Shale, which a lot of our reservoir system sits on. And there's the other side is that they're desperate for jobs upstate, and we understand that. I mean, I understand that, but again, look at what happened with the superstorm, and it took a few days to get people water to drink and even to wash up. It took a couple days. Can you imagine if the whole city's water supply was damaged and couldn't be used? How long it would take to get water to a place like Woodhaven or Glendale or Ridgewood? So it's an important issue. I hope the Senate picks it up. Because it does protect us, and that's something that we have to make sure that happens. The chemicals that are used, for the drilling of the gas, for some of them, there's still a patent on the chemicals, and it's not released as to what the chemicals are. They say the process is safe and they'll dispose of the water and chemicals safely. And then I think of all the other contaminants that were buried in 50-gallon drums, that now are causing issues all over the place, So it's a big issue. Anyway, those were two of the big ones we did in the last week and a half or so. And that's what we did upstate this week. As far as the hit and run, speed bumps were requested for 80th Street a while ago, and they were approved. And from what DOT said at the time, because we inquired a while ago for that, and they were already approved. So someone else had inquired about that before, and they're waiting, I guess, for funding and or whatever time they do to put them in for those speed bumps. So that might help the situation. And we did request signage and better lighting, at least under Jamaica, better lighting, a sign, just cautioning people that, someone died here, and just to pay more attention.
Jamaica Avenue is one instance. I know, we saw the report, and there's been a number of articles about Woodhaven Boulevard now being designated most dangerous road in Queens to pedestrians, which really doesn't come as a surprise. It's a large road, and especially as it comes through Woodhaven, especially southbound, coming down right outside your office there, that big hill, where it's wide open, and so you got cars coming down fast.
Sure.
There's been some discussions, some things to do. One of the things that came across our desk from a group called Transportation Alternatives is a petition for a bill, I guess, that's going through the state. It says here A.4327, whatever that is, but and a resolution 916 New York City Council, which would allow New York City to test speed camera enforcement program. Do you know what do you know about these speed cameras? And do you think they're a good idea?
Yeah, they want to install speed cameras throughout the city. Okay, the bill itself, I don't think necessarily designates Woodhaven Boulevard, as a place for a speed camera. Although it's not impossible, to try to put it in there if that's what the community would like, or if it would help the situation. So it just designates that we would allow them in certain areas and a certain number of speed cameras within the city limits. And so that's just what that bill takes care of. We requested many times, coming down that hill, better signage. And they came and replaced the signs, but it didn't do anything. There were the same signs. They just replaced them. I guess, they felt that they were getting worn out or something. But you have to alert people. There's a curve. It could be slippery when it's icy. There is a light. There's a red light that you may have to stop in a hurry. And things need to be done. There was a study. We're still waiting for all of the results to come out. There was a traffic study for Woodhaven Boulevard, that whole corridor. They did some of the preliminary work, like around Woodhaven and Union Turnpike. They limited the turn. They took away one of the lanes on the service road. And people were up in arms, but they did it to try and slow down the traffic.
Sure.
Okay, so that it gets a little safer. And also about, crossing the street, we've written many letters to DOT to increase the time that people have to cross Woodhaven Boulevard. We even did studies of our own, and we're not scientific, so, it's not a scientific study, but, Nick Rollison, crossed the street, and he's a young, energetic guy, and he barely made it across in some locations. And so an elderly person or a handicapped person would have a hard time crossing. And we wrote letters to that effect, and, their response was, well, we give you so many seconds per foot, and this is what it should be, but we'll increase it by a second and a half. I guess to appease me, I don't know. But still not good enough. We still are fighting them to try and get more time for seniors to cross. Woodhaven in Jamaica is a tough area. It's very dark under there.
Yeah, I agree.
And something needs to be done. Even the turn lane is a little awkward. It's just when you get there, you got both sides turning at the same time in a small amount of space. So there's a lot that has to be done. And I anticipate, looking at the study and seeing, what their opinion is of what they can encompass to get done.
Well, as a driver, and as a very slow driver, as I always make this point to people, I always say when you're on the road and you got that slow guy ahead of you that you're beeping at, it's a good chance that it might be me.
That was
I also like to tell them, you know what, that beeping don't work. it just
works the opposite.
Yeah, it just encourages you to slow down a little bit. But one of the things that I'd like to, and again, like you said, no expert. Sometimes what you think might be a good idea might actually work in reverse. But the way it works right now, you've got your green light going northbound or southbound. It's green, and then after it turns red, that's when the arrow goes. And I know it's happened to me many times that I've been coming up northbound or southbound, and the light has just turned red, and the arrow is on, and I'm coming, and again, I'm not going that fast, and I come in and I come into that turn lane, but what happens is people have already started walking.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, next thing you know, I'm pulling right up, and there's someone who's walking right into my path. Yep. And, one of the things that I had thought might be good for a safety precaution is to kind of reverse that so that the cars sit there waiting to make a turn, and then the green arrow goes first.
Right.
Then the green lights go northbound and southbound.
Right.
That might be one thing that could be done. But again, I don't want to propose things like that because it's not exactly like people have been getting hit at that particular spot. I guess we need to take a look at the instances where people get hit, why they've gotten hit, and see. I think I agree with you that it is very dark underneath there. I think speeding is definitely something that we should tackle throughout our community. In different ways. So
are you in favor of a speed camera?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think the cameras are very good. I know there's some people who don't like them, and there's even been some people who say they cause accidents. And I guess I'd like to see some studies on that. The cameras for the lights right now. But I know that I got busted going through a red light on Cross Bay Boulevard. And I got the ticket, and boy, I tell you, it really has affected me.
Sure,
it affected my driving.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a lot more careful.
The red light cameras do work because people say, there's a camera here. Let me slow down. If they see that the light is changing or getting ready to change, and it's much easier now with the countdown clocks. Because when you get to 0, it's going to turn yellow, and you have,
right.
You have to stop. But I think in that respect it helps and it slows people down. I don't see too many people speeding up to beat it.
Right.
So I think in that respect, the red light cameras, at least in that location on Cross Bay near Liberty and stuff, that works. I think I see that working. And getting back to Woodhaven, though, near Park Lane South, that's a dangerous hill.
Mm-hmm.
There's a turn. You don't really see the light until the last minute. And I've asked them on a few occasions to try and put better signage to prepare people. I even asked for, the flashing light up at the top when, sometimes when you're in the mountains or something, you'll see the flashing light when the light ahead is red or something, so it prepares you to stop. So I even asked for that, and I didn't get anywhere yet. But we have a new commissioner. I'll start working on the new commissioner.
Do we actually have a new commissioner? Has it been announced?
I think so. I think there is one. I know someone took over when she stepped down. I don't know who. I haven't met anyone, but I think we have a new commissioner.
All right.
Yeah, we'll try and meet with them and bring them down and, give them the usual tour that we did to the other one. She was pretty good. I mean, she really came out and took the time to take a look. You didn't always get what you wanted, and, she followed the law and all the expert opinions about different things, but at least she came out and gave us the time to check out the sites.
I definitely think you're right. You're absolutely right. Woodhaven Boulevard, Park Lane South. There has been a number of dangerous accidents there. There's been a number of deadly accidents there over the years. And for a pedestrian crossing Woodhaven Boulevard there, if you aren't so swift, and you have to do it in two lights, there really isn't any place to stand.
No, you need a better island. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, things need to be done, and that's what the study I think will bring out. And I'm just waiting for them to release it. It did a study a couple of years ago, so I don't know what's taking so long now.
Right.
But getting back to the Park Lane South in Woodhaven, a lady was killed there by a fuel truck, an oil truck, many, many years ago. And that day, my mother was there as well. And she was behind this lady. And when they approached the light, she pulled over into the next lane because she was going further down. And that's when the truck came and hit the lady. And it took my mother a couple months before she drove again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was that close, and
that was a horrific accident, and the poor family that were involved, who lost their mother and their wife and all that they still to this day come and put flowers.
Yeah.
Across there. Have you ever seen them? Are you in touch with them, or? I
haven't seen them. I know the tree was knocked down, so
right.
I'm sure they put it, somewhere else or close by. No, I've never known them. We were from Glendale, so we didn't really know people in Woodhaven, but it affected my mother, and it took her a few months before she drove again, and she would never go past that spot. Yeah. So, well, whatever. I mean,
very scary.
I feel bad for the family, and
sure, and you see them all these years later, still going there. So. And
I went to the funeral for John, the man who got hit. And it was sad. He was a fit guy. He walked all the time. His family told me a lot about him, and he went out to get grapes. Went to the store to get grapes, and. And I don't think that he had children or was married, because his sister and his niece were there taking care of everything.
Yeah, it's a shame.
So, I told the family, if they need anything, just to give me a call, and we'll make sure they don't at least get taken advantage of, or how sometimes people get, around a time like this. So.
God bless. That's a terrible thing.
And the library, Jen was right, Maria Concolino and the Friends of the Library really pushed the issue with getting it repaired, and really pushed the library, Queens Library, to step it up and do the work. And they should be commended for that as well, because there's a lot of years of no. It got to the point was, that's it, let's get moving, and it took issue. And Councilmember Crowley putting money aside, from her council discretionary money to get the repairs done. Her as well should be, commended for doing that. I know it's our tax dollars and that's what you have to do, but she actually did it and put it aside.
Sure. That's great stuff. All right, listen, Mike, as always, good talking to you. Thanks so much.
Okay, Ed. Take care.
And we'll be seeing you real soon. You too, bro. Be good.
Right.